Subscribe to our YouTube channel and don't forget to press the bell icon to get all the latest updates. One of the most important and respected critical thinkers of this country, somebody for whom I have deep personal regard and affection, somebody I regard as one of my intellectual mentors, has won the prestigious Richard Dawkins Award for 2020, becoming the first Indian to win this award. He has won it for his critical thinking and for holding religious dogma up to scrutiny at a time when the world is increasingly polarized and increasingly intolerant. I am, of course, talking about Javed Akhtar Saab, and it is my great pleasure to welcome Javed Saab on my 86th day of traveling across India, covering this pandemic and this lockdown. I think that this is one of the few things in this moment of tragedy and hardship that has brought a smile to my face. So thank you, Javed Saab, और बहुत मुबारक पहले आप.
Thank you very much, and thank you very much for this kind and generous introduction. Thank you.
Javed Saab, I have now known you for many years. We have been friends for many decades, and I have always known you to define yourself as a rationalist. Today, that has been recognized by an author, a thinker whom you admire very much. You have often shared what you feel about Richard Dawkins, but I don't think the broader audience knows what he represents to you and what this award means to you. So first, let's talk a little bit about what Dawkins means to you, what his courage in a deeply religious society, in a deeply religious world means to you.
You know, Faiz Ahmad Faiz, who was a very famous poet, and he used to write poetry. And one day he came across a booklet. Somebody gave him a booklet, and that was Communist Manifesto. And that changed his mind, and he started writing different kind of poetry. Something as dramatic as that has happened to me also. You know, thankfully I've come from a very liberal background where I was never taught religion the way children are taught in their early childhood, and a certain part of their brain is damaged forever, and they never recover from it. So thankfully it was not done to me. When I was in college, I had become an atheist, thinking on my own, and maybe with some help of my parents also, because they were also free thinkers, particularly my father, because my mother died when I was very young, but the father. But ultimately, one day I came across this book, God Delusion.
Yeah.
And that opened so many doors of my mind, because I was, whatever theories I had developed and whatever convictions I had developed were totally on my own. And I used to think that why doesn't anybody write about it? And it was some kind of a windfall, intellectual windfall, when I read his book, God Delusion. And there were so many things there which I had thought anyway, and there were so many things which I had not thought of. So that really enriched me. Then I followed him, read all other books by him. Then I read Christopher Hitchens or Sam Harris and other people who are writing about it. And I think all those writers did give a lot of strength to my convictions and my whatever I was believing anyway. I was an atheist to begin with. But thanks to these people, now I can see much more clearly than I could.
Is it very emotionally and intellectually isolating to be an atheist in a country like India, where religion is virtually indistinguishable from culture?
As a matter of fact, no. The fact is, there was a time when a lot of people with different sexual preferences used to be in the closet. Thankfully, they have come out. Same way, now the closet is not empty. Lot of atheists are in that closet. And there is no shortage of atheists in our society. And the number is increasing by the day. But there are not many who have the courage or privilege to own it publicly. But there is no shortage. As a matter of fact, I have addressed huge crowds, and I have expressed my ideas, and I have given my opinions. And I could see that they are highly amused and touched and appreciative of it. But they won't say it themselves.
What is
I do understand it.
What do you mean by when you say you're an atheist? For example, I identify as an agnostic. I do not believe in any institutionalized religion. I would like to be exposed to the cultures of all faiths, but I believe that there is a higher force in the universe that science has not been able to fully explain to me. Are you saying that you do not believe that there is a higher force?
Well, of course, I don't. Force, if you mean energy, of course. I mean, this universe is made of energy, and there are certain kind of energies which we don't even understand, and there are certain kind of matters, dark matters or dark energies, we don't know about them. But yes, of course, there's a lot of energy. One nebula, one meteorite has so much of power. There's no end to it. So much of energy is there. I mean, we are just a speck of dust in front of that huge ocean of energy. Yes, but the question is that energy conscious? Is that energy taking care of my personal life on day-to-day basis? Is that energy is going to organize my next job, the marriage of my children, and so on and so forth? This energy is almost like the elder of the family who takes the patriarch of the family who decides everything, or this is just energy. Electricity is also energy. So, but electricity, I don't think takes major decisions in my house, although I have energy in my house.
Have you never said a prayer to a personal God in a moment of crisis?
No. And for discussion's sake, suppose I have done. So it means when I'm nervous and when I'm in a moment of crisis, I stammer and I start sweating. So what do you expect from me? That I should stammer all the time and I should sweat all the time? When my mind stops working because of terror or fear, then I start thinking like so many people who think exactly like that all the time.
Are you scared of being an atheist in our country? Rationalists in this country?
No, not at all. Not at all.
Javed Saab, rationalists in this country have been assassinated. Let's remember Dabholkar Saab. Let's remember...
Dabholkar, Kalburgi, Pansare.
Yeah.
Yes, they have been. Yeah.
And they say that you can be, the one thing you can't be, the one thing that is sacrilege, using the word ironically, is to be an atheist.
No, as a matter of fact, they don't even mind an atheist so much. They cannot tolerate secularists. You see, you may or may not be atheist, Barkha. They don't mind your atheism also. They are upset with you for your secularism. Secularism is a bigger crime in our society than atheism. They don't think atheism is a threat to them. Because there is so much of religion in the world. I mean, there are some mad people who think there is no God and there is no point in praying. And so they are some kind of odd men out. They are not. But secularists are a serious problem. And they have to be eradicated.
But, look at the world we live in, where when you won this award, itne dafar hai wo Twitter pe, they were trying to suggest कि ये award ही फर्जी है. मतलब trolling.
Yeah, I know.
थोड़ी इंटेलिजेंट ट्रोलिंग करिए ना, थोड़ी इंटेलिजेंट ट्रोलिंग करिए.
हाँ, थोड़ा गलती हो गई उनसे. और मैंने तो कुछ उसको जवाब भी नहीं दिया कि इन्होंने कोई कम्युनिस्ट है जो सपोर्ट कर रहे हैं और वो पीछे पड़ गए उस ऑर्गेनाइजेशन के पीछे के इसी को दे दो ये वो कम से 4 आदमियों ने पढ़ा नहीं होगा तब तक मिस्टर रिचर्ड डॉकिंस का ट्वीट आ गया, तो उसके बाद मुझे कुछ कहने की जरूरत ही नहीं थी.
But let me now be a little contrarian here. Do you feel that people like you and me, I include myself in this, that we do not have a language which is effective for the spread of secularism? After all, it is not enough to be personally, ferociously pluralist. We need our country to be a ferociously pluralist country. But because आपकी और मेरे पास धर्म की भाषा नहीं है, हम लोग फंस जाते हैं क्योंकि इस देश में लोग धर्म की भाषा समझते हैं. और मैंने खुद पाया है that when people see stories of hope, of interfaith love, of interfaith friendships, those stories are more effective than your atheist lectures on secularism or my deracialization.
No. First of all, we must understand that there are opposite points: communalism and secularism, not atheism and communalism. The answer to communalism is not atheism, but secularism. atheism and religion. So the match is between atheism and religion and secularism and communalism. So let's not go crisscross. Yes, anybody who is very religious is prone to communalism. It is possible, but not necessarily that every religious person will be communal.
Of course.
Some people are not.
Of course.
At the same time, I should be honest enough to say that atheism is no guarantee for secularism also. I mean, we know in our country that some of the biggest communal leaders have been atheists, or at least totally religious people.
Like?
Somehow I still, I mean, I can say Jinnah. I don't think Jinnah was a religious person by any stretch of imagination. He was a westernized gentleman who was a pork-eating, whiskey-drinking person. So to call him religious is wrong. He was communal. He became communal at one stage. At some time, he was in Congress and he was a secularist. But then he took a complete U-turn and became a communalist.
But
my
question is different. My question is, do you feel that if you were a believer, a religious believer, when you spoke about secularism, you would have a language that spoke to more people. आपको कभी लगता है कि आप एक elite bubble में हैं और आपकी जो language है या मेरी जो language है वो हमारे देश के लोगों को समझ नहीं आती, because they are so steeped in religion and religion is part of their daily life. Religion is their culture. Culture और religion में एक मेलजोल है हमारे देश में.
नहीं, वो सब जगह है, दुनिया में है, लेकिन culture doesn't belong to religions. And like there is something like Islamic culture. There is nothing like Islamic culture. Islamic art, there is nothing like Islamic art. These are Hindu culture. Which is Hindu culture? Northern Hindus culture is Hindu culture, or Tamilians Hindu culture is Hindu culture, or Malayali Hindus Hindu culture. Cultures belong to regions. Yes, religion is one of the factors that influences culture up to an extent, but religions cannot own culture. So there is nothing like Christian culture and Islamic culture and Hindu culture. You can have Bengali culture. You can have Tamil culture. You can have Awadh culture. You can have Punjabi culture. So cultures belong to the region. Like languages don't belong to religion, but region.
What is your culture? Aapka culture?
I am actually from Awadh. I am from Lucknow. And I am kebab eating, biryani eating, poetry writing and listening person, that's all. And Urdu is my mother tongue. So that is where I feel wonderful. So this is all about. After that, I was born in a community, yes, and I share these things with them. But after that, the moment religious beliefs start, I part.
So this is an interesting point, because you can identify as a Muslim by faith, or you could identify as a Muslim culturally, or you could identify as a Muslim politically. Do you identify?
Again, I say, it is not.
Do you identify as a Muslim?
You see, sometimes you are not only what you think you are, you are also what others think you are. You see, suppose there is a communal rights situation, extremely violent. So I'll have to think which road I should take and which road I shouldn't. Now, you have left no choice to me. Achha, now, if I have this tag, how do you get rid of that tag? First of all, yes, I share a lot of culture with them.
Yes.
Besides that, I mean, there is no choice with me that I also share certain socio-political destiny or fate with them also. I should use the word destiny and fate because I don't feel that. But repercussion or positioning. Yes, consequences with this. I have no choice. You see, what do I do?
But
I have no other choice.
But you have departed from your faith on so many matters. I remember your taking. I remember an argument very interesting that took place between you and Shabana, where Shabana held up the veil to be a matter of choice for women. And you said that you are totally against the burqa and the hijab. मुझे ये याद है कि आपने ये बोला.
Yes, very right, very right.
Right?
I condone those countries totally who have banned hijab or parda, like in France. I appreciate that.
You agree with that?
Yes, I agree with that.
Tell us why.
You see, first of all, a child is brainwashed. Besides that, a young girl has tremendous immediate peer pressure and social pressure. And she thinks that if I condone that, if I confirm it, I'll have some more space within my own society, within my immediate environment. Mm-hmm. And even after that, if she says that I will have this hijab, then it is a psychological problem, because particularly niqab or covering a face is out. It's not possible. The society should not allow it. It is, if you say it is interference in religion, somebody's religion, then sati should not have been banned. Then child marriage should not be banned. Then dahez should not be banned. But whatever the wrong practices in the society, what curtails a dignity, freedom, and individuality of a person, even if the person is brainwashed into believing that this is what the person would like, it should be stopped. And after 50 years, when generations after generations are grown up without hijab, tell them now if you want hijab, you can use it.
Do you support then a progressive uniform civil code?
If it is possible, no harm. But uniform civil code should not mean Hindu code bill, number one. It should be uniform in total sense. But I wonder if it is possible in the country. What I prefer, that if people want to have their personal law, the Hindu code bill or Parsi personal law or Christian personal law or Muslim personal law, and within Hindu code bill also there are categories and categories. Human, keep it. But the ultimate touchstone is the Constitution of India. If it is in conflict, and if it comes in conflict with the Constitution of India, it is the Constitution of India which will prevail.
Okay.
Period.
Can I ask you if you have got more hate from the Hindu right or from the Muslim right?
Well, at the moment, Hindu right is winning. It is ahead. But recently, when I had spoken against Azan or loudspeaker, then that side was doing much better. So it depends. But I keep on getting hit from both the sides. And when I have spoken against personal law or triple talaq or anything of this sort, then I get a barrage of hate mail from this side. Then I talk about Delhi riots, why the people are not arrested. Then I get a barrage from that side. So as long as both of them are abusing me, I'm fine.
I agree with you. But I want to ask you, what made you question the Azan? What made you speak
No. You see, Azan is the part of religion. I'm not saying Azan should be stopped.
The loudspeaker. You're against the loudspeaker.
And they themselves were against the loudspeaker. From 1916 to 1963, Azan on loudspeaker was haram. Loudspeaker was an instrument of the devil. Now, I don't know what happened in 63, that ultimately it became the instrument of Allah. When it happened, why it happened, I don't know. Now, what happened, that at the loudest volume, there is a place in Bombay where on one side of the road, there is predominantly a Muslim locality in Santa Cruz. And on the other side, there is another locality which is predominantly Christian, but there are some Hindus also. Now, in that area, there are 4 mosques. It means an average Hindu, an average Christian, hears 20 azans in a day on a loudspeaker, on different loudspeakers. Is it fair? Is it fine? I mean, shouldn't you be considerate? And if you say that, then you are straight going to Jahannam, Dozakh. You are a kafir. Huh?
Once I remember you told me that the problem with Hindu fundamentalism is that it is mirroring Islamist fundamentalism. You said,
oh, as a matter of fact, you know, नहीं अभी इंडिया में तो ऑब्वियसली बेचारे हिंदू मुस्लिम फंडामेंटलिस्ट की वो पार नहीं है जो आईसिस की है जो तालिबान की है बट समटाइम्स आई फील दैट दीस पीपल एडमायर आईसिस एंड तालिबान यार ये यार ग्रेट पीपल है, वो तो रोड पे यार विप करते हैं औरतों को, यार हमने तो कुछ किया ही नहीं अभी तक. तो मतलब उनकी जो फैंटेसी है वो एक दिन आईसिस और तालिबान जैसा बनता है कि वो जो उनमें बात है, दे आर अनबिलीवेबल, दे डू एनीथिंग.
But your serious point was that Hinduism was not a codified orthodoxy, and therefore, when it apes a codified orthodoxy, it is actually going against its own sort of self-belief.
अरे भाई, मैं तो एक बात कहता हूँ, you look at India, and then you turn your eye towards West, you will get another real democracy when you cross the Mediterranean. I won't even call Israel a perfect democracy, because again, it is a theocratic country. And no theocratic country can be genuinely a democracy. Not possible. The very fact that you are theocratic is anti-democratic. So the next democracy will be when you will cross Mediterranean. Why Indians have democracy, and why the roots of democracy have gone so deep in our mind and in our soul. It is because for thousands of years we believe that people have different ideas, different thoughts, and different points of view, and they have all the right to have different points of view, different thoughts, different culture. There were vegetarians, there were non-vegetarians, there were people who worshipped idols, people who refused to worship idols, people who worshipped this idol or this god, people who worshipped that god. And there was a kind of elbow room for dissension. This dissension developed your intellectual muscle. This dissension developed your capacity to analyze and understand other points of view. And that is why intellectually you went superior and you became a country that could afford a democracy. Now you are trying very hard, some people are trying to make this country without any dissension. While our virtue is dissension, we are democratic, we are intellectually superior to so many because we allow dissension. Look at the countries where dissension is not allowed. Look at the countries where people are forced to accept only one point of view or keep quiet. What is their intellectual level? What is their structure, social structure, even what kind of governments they have? What kind of leaders they produce? We are on that path. What a pity. Our USP, this is the USP of Indian culture. Dissension. There was somebody who was an atheist. India treated that atheist like a saint.
Who are you talking about?
Charwak. So, if you had once upon a time this kind of dissension, today if he would have been there, Charwak would have been there, he would have been shot dead like Dabolkar or Kalburgi. These Dabolkar and these Kalburgi or Pansare, they were the Charwaks of today.
So aren't you scared?
No, nobody killed them.
Aren't you?
I'm very sad about it. I'm not scared.
No, for yourself.
I'm sad. I'm disappointed.
For yourself.
I'm not that important. I think nobody will waste a bullet on me. It doesn't come free.
That's modest. But आप मुझे एक बात बताएं. Not many people know about your years of struggle. I remember many years ago doing an interview with you, और वो बात वहीं रह गई. About the years you lived on the pavements. You wrestled with alcoholism. These are stories that have been buried in the telling of the Javed Akhtar story. लोगों को मालूम ही नहीं है. Today, as you sit here, applauded for being a critical thinker, those have been your personal struggles, your personal journey to get to this point. Can you talk a little bit about whether that time of your life stays with you when you look back at it? How do you make sense of it?
Yeah, it does. There are certain memories and there are certain hurts and bruises that never leave you.
Okay.
It means that whatever I'm going to say will sound very dramatic to you. But honestly, I genuinely mean each and every word, and it's true. So often in the morning, I sit to have my breakfast. I look at that breakfast, and I remember days that I wish I had this toast, or this butter, or this milk at that day. When I was so hungry. Now when I finish my lunch, I see a lot of food is left. It's still on the table. And I remember, अरे उस दिन सिर्फ ये दाल ही मिल जाती मुझे. तो when you, those days will never leave me, and I feel कि तेरे ये दिन आ गए, तो इतना खाना तेरे सामने रखा है, दिमाग खराब हो गया तेरा. I genuinely feel that. और मैं आपको बताऊं, बरखा के जो माइग्रेंट जिसे हम कहते हैं, माइग्रेंट क्यों नाम पड़ गया मुझे मालूम नहीं, कहाँ से आए ये, स्कैंडिनेविया के हैं या जापान के हैं या नाइजीरिया से आए हैं जो माइग्रेंट कहला रहे हैं. ये हिंदुस्तान के लोग हैं. कल तक तो माइग्रेंट नहीं थे, या बुरे वक्त में माइग्रेंट कहलाते हैं. इनका क्या प्रॉब्लम है, इनका क्या दुख होगा जब ये पैदल चल रहे होंगे, जब इन्हें खाना नहीं होगा, जब इनके पास एक जेब में पैसा नहीं होगा. I totally understand, because sometimes I feel कि अगर 1965 से 1970 के बीच में ये कोरोना आया होता तो मैं भी शायद hundreds of किलोमीटर वॉक कर रहा होता. मैंने वो देखा हुआ है, मैं इनके दर्द को पूरी तरह समझता हूँ. I have gone through this stage when there is no shelter, there is no food, no clothes. I mean, it sounds absurd that one day when I was 18 years old, I realized that I have nothing to wear. Now, it is illogical. पहले भी तुम दुनिया में कैसे थे 18 बरस की उम्र तक? But the last trousers that I had and the last shirt that I had was torn so very badly that I could wear it again. Now I had nothing. So a friend of mine gave me some clothes. तो मैं इनके दुख को समझता हूँ.
Javed, how did you, I know the story, but our viewers don't. How did you come to that point where you were staring at hunger, where you would have, in this age today, had to walk hundreds of kilometers? क्या हुआ आपकी जिंदगी में जो आप सड़क पर आ गए?
अरे भाई, मैं बॉम्बे आया when I was 19. और उससे पहले भी I was not living in any heaven. I did not have a very cushy life in my college days also, but it was some kind of a up and down constantly. वो क्या बोलते हैं, वो क्या चीज होती है जिसके ऊपर वो लोग roller coaster. Yes. So my life was on a roller coaster, sometimes low, sometimes high. I had some very good friends who used to look after me, so that when I'm with them and they would spend money on me, then I was on a high, and when I was alone, then I would go down and so on. So even in my college years, when I'm saying that at the age of 18 I had nothing to wear, I was in college that time. But then I went for the youth festival also when I was 18, and I had a lot of clothes because my friends had my college had given me clothes, as a matter of fact, because they wanted me to represent in a group discussion. I represented Vikram University. Anyway, when I came to Bombay, I was 19. And within 5 or 6 days of my reaching my father's house, I had to leave the house for reasons that I would not like to go in detail, because the characters of the story are no longer in this world. So I talk about them. And I was totally on my own. After 5-6 days in a totally strange city. And yes, for almost 2.5 years, I slept in a studio's compound. I still know those lightmen who knew me that time when I used to sleep in the compound under a tree. I did not even have a pillow or a chadar or a dari or anything. I would sleep like that. I have slept on pavements. I have slept on railway stations, car railway stations. I had a very big porch. I have slept in that porch many times during the monsoons. I've gone, breakfast was not the idea at all. Breakfast was out of the life. That was not on the menu. So because when you would get up, then now you have to think, where will you get your lunch? So breakfast is something that you get immediately. That's not possible. So breakfast तो था ही नहीं हमारे प्रोग्राम में. तो लंच कहाँ होगा और डिनर कहाँ होगा अगर होगा, और उसके बाद रात को सोएंगे कहाँ. ये प्रॉब्लम जो है मेरी जिंदगी में कोई 4-5 साल रहा है, for 4-5 years. So वो तो खैर चलो गुजर गया. I have been fortunate. Life has been kind to me. Grand total is good. चलो ये दुख भी देखे तो ये दुख तो बहुत लोगों ने देखे हैं. लेकिन हर एक को बात
जब आप आज देखते हैं, और जावेद साहब मैं तो माइग्रेंट वर्कर्स के साथ मुझे 2.5 महीना हो गया है, मुझे आई हैव लॉस्ट काउंट ऑफ द आई हैव वॉक्ड विद देम. Do you remember that hunger? Do you remember that feeling of not knowing कि अगली रोटी कहाँ से आएगी?
जी बिल्कुल, यू कांट फॉरगेट इट, इट्स सो ट्रॉमेटिक, यू कांट फॉरगेट इट, वो याद रहता है। और उससे फिर आप आइडेंटिफाई कर सकते हैं दूसरों से कि ये आदमी किस हाल से जा रहा है, व्हेन यू हैव नथिंग इन योर लाइफ, नो सपोर्ट, क्या होता है इसका आपको अंदाजा तब होता है जब आप उससे गुजरे।
मैं आपको एक बताती हूँ, मुझे एक बच्चा मिला, 9 साल का था, चाइल्ड ऑफ वर्कर। तो हमने उससे पूछा, ऐसे ही थोड़ा सा हंसी मजाक करते हुए, वो बस में बैठ रहा था घर जाने के लिए, उसको बस मिल गई, चल नहीं रहा था। तो मैंने उसको पूछा, डू यू नो, आपको पता है कोरोना वायरस क्या है? 9 साल का बच्चा था, उसने कहा हाँ मुझे मालूम है, कोरोना वायरस का मतलब है मुझे खाना नहीं मिलेगा। दैट वाज हिज अंडरस्टैंडिंग ऑफ दिस वायरस, उसको ये समझ आई। सो इट वाज द मोस्ट, मतलब दिल तोड़ने वाली बात। पर आप, I know you have written something, a new poem on the great exodus, the biggest exodus of Indians that has taken place since partition. ऐसे लोगों को जिनको हमने invisible render कर दिया, almost orphaned by the state. I would request कि आप हमें वो पढ़ के सुनाएं, हम सफर, जो कविता आपने लिखी है।
जरूर सुनाता हूँ। दोनों जलती तपती सड़क पर, दोनों जलती तपती सड़क पर सूरज की गर्मी से पिघलते, भूख और प्यास की गठरी उठाए नंगे पांव बड़े नगर से अपने छोटे गांव को, अपने छोटे घरों को लौट रहे हैं। वो घर जो पैरों की ताकत, दिल की हिम्मत से भी आगे, बहुत ही आगे, जाने कितनी दूरी पर है। सूखे होंठ, खाली आंखें, पांव में छाले, पर चलते रहने के सिवा रास्ता भी क्या है। फैक्ट्री के दरवाजे जब इन दोनों के मुंह पर बंद हुए थे, ठेकेदार ने जब था इन्हें एक आधी बनी बिल्डिंग से निकाला, कौन था इनका पूछने वाला। कोई भी उम्मीद किसी रास्ते में नहीं थी, सब नगरी सुनसान पड़ी थी, हर बिल्डिंग अनजान खड़ी थी, सारे मकान और सारी दुकानें अपनी आंखें बंद किए थे। उसी नगर में अब ये दोनों थे परदेसी, जहां ये बरसों मरे जिए थे। सारे खुदाओं के भी घरों पर लगा था ताला, किससे मांगता मांगने वाला, कोई नहीं था। चारों तरफ बस एक सन्नाटा गूंज रहा था। वो लाउड स्पीकर भी अब चुप थे। कल जो दोनों को थे बताते, कौन हो तुम और क्या है पूरी और सच्ची पहचान तुम्हारी, सुनो और समझो बात हमारी। वो है बाबर की औलाद और तुम हो महाराणा के बेटे। दोनों का इतिहास अलग है, दोनों के संस्कार अलग है, दोनों का विश्वास अलग है। वो लाउड स्पीकर भी चुप थे, जो थे बताते, वो हैं बुतों को पूजने वाले और तुम हो गजनी के सिपाही, सच्ची राह के सच्चे राही। दोनों का ईमान अलग है, दोनों का अरमान अलग है, दोनों की मंजिल ही अलग, रास्ते ही अलग है। ऐसे ज्ञान और इल्म बांटते सारे लाउड स्पीकर चुप है और दोनों ये देख रहे हैं, दोनों का एक ही रास्ता है। दोनों जलती तपती सड़क पर सूरज की गर्मी से पिघलते, नंगे पांव अपने कंधों पर अपनी भूख और प्यास की गठरी लेकर, जाने कितनी सदियों से यूं ही चलते हैं। पेट की आग में दोनों ही जिंदा जलते हैं। अब दोनों ने है ये जाना, एक अमीरी एक गरीबी, दुनिया में दो ही जाते हैं, बाकी सब झूठी बातें हैं।
It's brilliant. It is absolutely brilliant, Javed sir.
Thank you.
बहुत I mean, having lived this for 80 plus days, I relate to it totally. Javed sir, this is amongst your most brilliant works of wordsmithry.
Thank you.
I would like to end with these words because I think they're very powerful. So बहुत आपको मुबारक, and it has been a pleasure.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Javed sir.
And we must tell you before we part that all of us are very, very proud of you. और ये सब खत्म हो जाए, जल्दी से खत्म हो ये सब मुसीबत, और फिर आपसे मिलके बैठते हैं, let's do something together.
Zarur. I look forward to that. It would be an honor. Thank you.
Thank you.